I just had an insane realization just now.
Tell me.
Oh my God. I don't know if I want to. It's really bad. But it's really good that I can see it now, though. But it's like, fuck.
Yeah, you don't have to. When I get to thinking really dark, man, that is never a time I would podcast or try to really say it out loud. Because, man, like, I think even just a couple weeks ago, I just sat on the porch and I just had this, like, feeling come out of nowhere for no particular reason. Everything was fine. And it was just like, there's no fucking point. This is all bullshit. Recovery is bullshit. The higher power is bullshit. Fucking life is bullshit. And I'm just sitting there like staring at the ground and I'm like, whoa. Like it just I legit just I'm like, okay. Like fucking go do something, play my game or something and just zone out. And I'm like, because I know that just temporary, just like I know when I'm feeling extra and like too much on the other extreme, like that's temporary too. The truth is somewhere in the middle. But like those dark thoughts especially, like I cannot buy into that or scramble to figure it out because that's the type of shit that doesn't make sense. And for me, like everything that comes out of my head is where the bullshit lies, like good or bad. It's just, and I'm just playing, I'm just imagining. Like that's why I don't know. What I do know is that life is good, bad, and ugly. What I do know is that the better I act, the better I live, the better reception and energy I receive. I do know that the more I try to figure shit out, the more lost I get. So those are the few things I just try to keep in mind.
Yeah,
But
I will say it, but you're gonna need to tell me that afterwards that this is just my thoughts and I'm not my thoughts. Because I'm not. So, what you just said, how people get sober for somebody else, they don't see the worth or value in their life. They just kind of do it for someone. With me, it almost feels like it's like that, but it's like on a bigger scale. It's like I'm doing it for not having to because I'm so strongly believing in reincarnation and all that shit. I have to make sure I'm good in this life to make sure that the next life I don't have to go through this again. So I'm doing it just for that. And that is why I'm like clutching onto the whole like above and beyond belief that I need that to get through this. And that's the realization that I had. But it's also a good thing that I see it now because now I can work on, just seeing the worth in my life, basically.
yeah. I mean, yeah, if you don't see worth, you're going to find what you're looking for. I am a firm believer in that in all things. If I'm in a good relationship and I'm looking for flaws and reasons to get out of it, I'm going to find them. If I go to a meeting thinking meetings suck, I will find plenty of reasons meetings suck. And if I'm looking for an answer or I'm looking for peace or guidance, I will find that too.
Right.
Like, it's all about what I choose to focus on. Just like on the days where I'm like feeling good about myself. Like there's some days where I'll like be on it on some music or just have a bomb day and think, man, I'm the shit. Like, I love myself. Like, I just love that I'm me. And I will just see all these like highlight reels of why I'm so grateful to be me. And then at the same time, if I'm having a shitty day or I'm feeling down about myself, I can find a whole highlight reel of things that suck about me and just own that stance. So it's like the secret to find is to just stop fucking looking. Just stay in the moment. I got some good shit. I got some bad shit. Life is good. Life can kind of suck sometimes. Fucking whatever, man. Like,
dude, this seriously like blew my fucking mind. Like, you have no idea like how much I really needed this conversation.
good. Hopefully I can tag it on the end of the pod without all that stuff in the middle.
You always fucking do, and I don't understand why.
I've been through a lot. Like, I haven't been through like, probably doesn't look like a lot mentally and spiritually. I've been through a lot. And there's no way I could have had these type of realizations 10 years ago. Not even just because of my addiction, just because of how I thought and how I identified with my thoughts that I was. Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude. God. Oh my god, I'm going crazy. Sorry. I just had like a thing flash inside of my brain. I don't know what the fuck is in there anymore, but it's like, it was like I'm seeing like the whole fucking, the entirety of everything, like the universe, everything, every galaxy, whatever. And it just got crunched into like one little path. And it's like my path. And it's like, all this is in here. This is your universe. And I think I was special enough to think that the entire fucking universe was mine.
Whoa.
I am that level of specialty. Do you hear this shit right now?
That just blew my mind, bro.
Oh my god. I was that fucked up. Oh no.
I've been there, man. I legit used to think the whole world was fake and it was all about me. Like, legit thought that. Not even in like a way where I'm just taking from people and going about my life like however I want, but just literally thinking like I am the center of this universe. Like, I think a lot of people do. We want significance, man. We want like it's a gift and a curse of having the luxuries we have. Like, we grow up, we are in houses, we are all our needs are met. You know what I mean? We're not like cavemen out here just struggling to survive every day and have so much shit going on around us that all we have to focus on is protection and shelter and food. So we're born with these like natural instincts to like survive, but we have no threat of survival. So we try to survive socially and we try to survive spiritually by coming up with some bigger meaning and purpose. Like, my desire and need to be significant and famous or just special was insane. Even though I was like the quiet kid, you know, I've always pretty much had what I needed and I had a pretty decent life, but I was still really unfulfilled and discontent because there was no fight to be had and there was nothing to like strive for and work for. So like, then go down the addiction path. Yes, I start to like accumulate need and desire for things because I'm losing them all and giving them away basically. But now I also feel so deep and dark because I know why, and I'm stuck in this like pull of addiction mentally and physically and spiritually. And you know what I mean? Like coming out of it, it was almost like, all right, now you get it. You know what I mean? Like now you need to reaccumulate some things you've lost in life. Now you need to work for some things because you fucking have nothing, you know, and now you actually can see clearly. And if I would have held on to the whole, I'm this age, I should have been here by now, so held on to my thought patterns and beliefs, I would probably be having a hell of a hard time in sobriety if I was even still sober. Like, I really don't think I'd still be sober if I didn't get into the whole mindfulness shit. But yeah, man, it's all upstairs. It's so much of it. Like, when I'm just present and I'm just going with my flow, being mindful of how I treat others, being mindful of how I treat myself, I'm good. When I really start thinking, I sometimes thinking is useful, but when I try to like, I've always had this thought too, not always, but a lot lately, you can't figure out life in one sitting. And that is one thing that always comes back to me, that I'm like, when it comes to, oh, am I going to be with this person forever? Well, you can't fucking know. Well, you don't know what's going to happen in a year. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like, you can't figure it out. You can imagine what it might look like, but you can't figure it out because you don't know what's going to happen and how you're going to react to it on my end or their end or whatever. So, like, same with life, same with religion or spirituality. Like, I don't know, and I can't just sit here and figure it out right now. Like, if I tried to think about it today, I'd probably have a different conclusion than if I tried to think about it on another day where I'm feeling kind of funky, or another day where I'm feeling kind of uppity, you know?
There's that control thing that we were gonna like talk about in the beginning that I've actually been wanting to talk about that, but I couldn't think it in the moment because I feel like garbage. So we try to put control in things around us. We try to make the whole world take the whole world under our control. We're trying to go outside inward, but we have to go inside out. We have to use our control. We're not seeing control in the right place. So if we start seeing it from inwards, like from inside, like our own little world, our own dream, or whatever that we have that is ours, that is what we use, that we can control and we can create, and we can, you know, create our dream. We can create our own little world, make the best of what we got. But like, we try to grab a hold of everything. It's almost as if our perception of control is like flipped upside down. Well, for some people, not everybody, but majority. So I can't control people. I can't control situations. I can't control just life, but I can control what I do. I can control what I say. I can control like where I am, what I can make of myself, what I can make of my life, you know, like who I am with, what I communicate. It's like I can do things, but I can't do things for, I don't know. It's almost like you're trying to flip roles with basically, I don't know, higher power or the universe. Like you're trying to make it, you're trying to be that. You want to be that, but you're not. So do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody's always trying to control everything outside of themselves, not realizing that they don't even have control over the inside. Like,
Yeah.
they want to control their partner, they want to control their kids or their life or whatever they think they can control, and they scramble to try to learn how to control outside of them. Meanwhile, and if you have everybody or a lot of people doing that, then everybody is just trying to constantly change, the mold outside of them. But if everybody just focused inward and focused on themselves and what they could control within themselves, people would probably mesh well together or find their people easier. You know what I mean? Like, because they would accept if things don't fit, they'd move on. But no, you'll have two people who fucking live together for 30 years who hate each other and constantly try to control each other.
Yeah.
Who don't look inwardly at all, and then they waste their entire life staying together, miserable. Like, that's like, so I don't know if I want to. Never mind.
No, well, now you have to.
Well, I just didn't want to, because it would have turned into a relationship thing.
That's fine.
So, well, I just didn't want to go left off this topic, but all right, let's do it.
We'll lean back. I got more things to say.
Hold on, little sidebar. I think one of the biggest things for me is, and maybe this is because I was from a single parent household, but I've had this thought as long as I can remember, probably since a teenager, where I'm like, I don't want to be in a relationship my whole life that I'm miserable in. Not even just miserable, but meh. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean it needs to be fireworks all the time. But I don't know, just seeing those people, you'd see that old couple who barely even vibe or speak, and they're just "Rah," you know what I mean? I'm I just used to observe that and be like, what the fuck is that? Why would I want to be with someone that long, especially just because we had kids together? Why would I want to be with someone I don't like my whole life? You know what I mean? I just always had that thought, I wonder if they get to this 50, 60-year-old phase and they look back yeah, I was with, the person I had kids with and whatever. But do they ever just feel deeply unfulfilled on a connection level only? And that always stood out to me. And I'm also glad that I have the part where, not every day, because if I didn't have that, it's all good if every day isn't fireworks part too, then it would be like this, oh, you're just with someone till the flame dies and the buzz wears off and then you're off to someone else. No, it's not like that. I just mean staying by pure compliancy, or, you know what I mean? Obligation. Or just, I don't know, I guess there's a lot of levels to it, security, and that's just what people do, and I don't know, whatever. See, I didn't really have a well put together thought for that, but
yeah, I do believe I've seen some older couples that are basically in love their whole life, and that is possible. I also see that people have that spark die or whatever, but I feel a lot of it, when people first meet and it's all good or whatever, and then things happen, I think it's because resentments grow and people just, those resentments don't get resolved and people don't communicate things to another. And eventually when they get old, they just hate each other. That's why there's that concept of I hate my wife came from that joke or whatever that people say. it's like, I feel like they almost have the ability that they can work through it and be okay, but they just don't want to. Like they just build resentments because it's easier to just get angry and ignore each other and then just eventually get to that point. But at some point they were good, you know? So right. I think it's all about how people handle it.
Oh, for sure.
And
yeah, because I mean, your average person isn't really like, I don't know, looking that inwardly and all that, or they just, or one of them is and one of them isn't, and the other one just kind of gives up, you know, like, oh yeah, he's the way he is, and
right,
you know.
And I feel like people, the more unconscious you are, that's why toxicity arises, is because people get completely unconscious and they stay unconscious and they fuel off each other's unconsciousness. They crave it. So that's when people start like hating each other and just it ends up turning out like crazy. But then I feel like the more conscious you are, the more you can communicate. And then I feel like those people that end up staying being in love are the ones who are the most conscious, who are able to look past the ego and fall in love with that higher self person with each other. And just like, you know, that higher self isn't going to go anywhere. You know, looks are going to change. The sex drive is going to change. All that goes away, but the higher self stays. And they're able to just kind of connect to that part and stay and be good. And I've seen very, very few people be like that because not many people have gone to that level of, you know, consciousness. And the ones that did are the ones who are able to be happy together. I mean, that's my belief.